Already gone. I have to exit the vehicle. I look around, and 2 cars back is my happened just from barely setting it down. And what is up, TubeU? It is Fox from the F6 channel, and don't go anywhere because today we're going to be doing some scientific experiments. Would you rather stick with a big mag release, or do you prefer the stock mag release? I may change your mind, so stick around and see what today's conclusions come up with. So this most recent weekend, this was kind of brought to my attention why I'm starting to shift and change my mind on these. And the first reason is going to be pinch points and a lot of places that you are trying to put your gun to shoot off of. So let's back up and let me cover, if you're building a gun to be more of a novelty item or a safe queen, or you're just going to be mag dumping it into trash, then I really don't think the extended mag paddle, the bigger mag release, is really going to matter. It's honestly, you're going to start seeing issues when you start working with these guns and see how many times it's been placed on metal bars or wedged inside of things and honestly propped up to shoot. And I really started noticing that my extended mag release was getting me into trouble, especially from trying to shoot in or around and use vehicles to shoot off of, whether it be like kind of leaning up against a fender well or using the spare tire on the back of a vehicle. When I would try to set my gun up there, I would notice that this hung out so much that it was pushing up against that, and I was either hearing it or having to reseat my magazine. But with that being said, let's switch over to my smaller AR-15 that has the same kind of style of extended mag release. Now, what I run into with this one is essentially the same thing, that is bumping up against things and causing it to drop my mag, especially my side-by-side. So we'll kind of pull up a demonstration here and I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about. But if I am trying to go do trap checks or perimeter checks and I'm trying to drive with this thing and I want to tuck it down beside my right leg and kind of wedge it right in there between the seat, you can see that my extended mag paddle is hitting up against essentially the console and dropping that mag out. We just call it an accidental mag discharge because that's essentially what's happening there. And really the only way you're going to know if this stuff works for you or doesn't work for you is just getting out there and training with your equipment, putting it on, and really kind of putting it through the works. Let me know if you're one of those that you always run a extended mag paddle and you like them, because I can honestly see why some people like them, and I don't know if the function of them is going to cut down on a mag exchange that is going to be worth the potential accidental mag discharge. Is it going to be worth it? Is it worth putting something that could potentially release your magazines when you most need it? Or are you saving, you know, half a second or whatever it may be for that little extend? Now kind of going back to hand size, this is just a standard Magpul AR grip, and you can see how far my finger runs past that. So, I mean, you would have to have some really small hands where you couldn't reach that. I mean, really, really small hands. But also, I'm sure there's shooters or maybe some females that have smaller hands that do like those. So I'm not going to knock it, and I'm not going to say don't do it, but realistically, if you're going to put that on your primary gun or your home defense gun or whatever you're going to be really banking your life on, I would definitely recommend getting that gun out and putting it through the works, which you should be doing these things anyways. An issue with my primary gun, I was shooting at a training course, and you know, I had my primary gun there. I was doing great on times, reaching out, doing some distance shooting, and of course it gets into vehicle movement. Now I know what you're thinking. Yeah, obviously this long bastard's going to be hard to be working around in a vehicle with. That's actually not the issue I had. The issue I had was that extended mag release. I was doing a timed course, and halfway through I go to fire, and the next thing that happens is nothing. So I go to charge my gun and reinsert my mag, thinking maybe it was just loose or I had a failure to feed, and I look down and my magazine is not in the gun. My magazine is not in the vehicle I'm in, so I have to exit the vehicle. I look around, and 2 cars back is my magazine down by the tire. It had fallen off whenever I went to get on the rear bumper, and I had propped my gun up on the rear bumper of this SUV, and there's the bumper that is flat here, and right next to it is the tailgate that lifts up, and that was just enough right there that it had kind of a bubble in it where the license plate and all that stuff is, that it was pushing up against that. All right, so let's say I've ready to put my gun back into its place. We're gonna set it down here, and I like to prop it right in here so it doesn't fall, and already gone. And of course, essentially the exact same thing can happen in my pickup truck, because if I want to set my gun kind of right here, I'm going to obviously prop it down, put it there, and check this out. As you can see, it's already happened just from barely setting it down, and my mag was released. We're gonna just barely set it in there, and it's set. Now check this out. We're gonna pull it out, and my mag was already loose. See, it just barely touching that mag release, it sticks out just enough that you could really get yourself in trouble. Now, with that being said, let's grab a gun without that and see if it works. Mag is in it, and we're gonna tuck it in that exact same spot there. Just want to actually tuck it in a little further. And my mag release is actually nowhere near where it could be pushed. So I'll flip my camera around. So you can see through there, my mag release is nowhere near even pushing it up against that. Jamming it is not going to cause that to come out. Let's try it one more time. I'm going to slide it down in there, just like such, and mag release is all good. As always, give me your feedback. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, do all that stuff. Get your friends involved. And most importantly, stay hydrated.